Thank you so much for joining. Today, we'll start today's class by coming into either a comfortable seat in your chair, with your back up against the back of the chair, or maybe coming down onto the ground into a constructive rest, letting the feet press against the floor no matter which variation you're choosing. Your hands can rest gently on your body, or maybe resting alongside on the floor in the chair. The palms can be face up or face down. And begin to allow your shoulder blades to start to relax. Allow your fingertips to lose any tension. The muscles throughout the arms to start to soften. Noticing your torso, seeing if there's any aches or pains, any tension that you're holding. With your next few intentional breaths, maybe you start to allow them to relax. Breathe into those areas of tension and let them start to melt into the props beneath you. If you haven't already, maybe you close your eyes or simply soften your gaze, letting it blur over. Letting yourself fall into your breath. You move your awareness down into your hips, your glutes, your lower back, your abdomen. Once again, noticing any tension, any sensations, and then taking gentle breaths, letting a little space, a moment for that area. Begin to draw your attention down the legs, past the knees, calves, feet and ankles, all the way down to your toes. Taking a moment to notice what there is to notice. Breathing there. We draw our attention back up through our body, past our heart space, and into our neck, our jaw. Noticing the facial muscles. Maybe the jaw is clenched or the tongue is pressed against the top of the mouth. See if you can find some way to soften your body, soften your face. And then we'll begin to notice the breath itself. Now today we're not going to alter our breath in any way. We're going to let it ride its natural ride, flow its natural flow. But we're still going to be mindful of observing that breath, observing that flow. Trying not to assign any judgment, any feeling to it. Just simply noticing what is in that present moment, in that breath. Today we'll talk about what we think we know. Our human minds love to know things. Our minds love to solve the problems and to figure things out. But if something feels out of place, the mind also tries to think itself into peace. And once the mind thinks it knows, usually the universe shows up and shows us we really can't know anything except for this present moment. We think we might know a person, or we think we might know how a present situation will work out. We even think we know where we belong. But if meditation has taught me anything, it's simply that I know nothing, nothing at all. And in this, there's actually freedom. So as you take a few more of those natural breaths, center yourself and bring to mind something right now in your heart you know for certain. And as you breathe, begin to contemplate that maybe, just maybe, you don't really know anything about that situation or that moment that you feel so certain of. Throughout our class today, I might ask you to move in a way that you know for certain how it will feel, or how it might look, or how it might end up. But instead of making those judgments ahead of time, maybe try to stay with that breath, really connecting with our breath throughout our practicing. Allowing yourself to experience that moment as it comes with that breath. We'll take a moment to offer ourselves a little bit of gratitude today for anything in your life that in this moment feels like you need gratitude for. And then as you're ready, start to wiggle fingers and toes, and let's flutter the eyes open, stretching the body in any way that feels good. And then from the ground, we'll come on up into a hero's pose of our choice, maybe adding a block under the hips or a pillow or a blanket under the knees. You could always tuck the toes or untuck the toes. And if you're in a chair, we're going to do this half and half. So we'll take it on one side, and then halfway through, we'll switch to the other side. So we'll come to the right side, scooch the right foot back, drop the right knee down. And I like to open the left knee just a little bit wider, adding just a little counterbalance to this stretch through the front hip flexor on that right side. Now, while we're in our hero's pose, we're going to keep our spine really straight, as straight as we possibly can. And we're going to work on a little bit of eye muscles today. So we'll start by bringing our hands out to a T. Go ahead and make a fist with your fingers and let your thumb come up into a up position. And then go ahead and let it drop down equal to your shoulders. And then draw your hands towards each other. They don't need to touch, and we're not even wanting them to touch. It's just going to be a little bit in front of your face here. And with our inhales, I want you to start to let your thumbs rise and float up. Keep your gaze on your thumbs until you can't follow them anymore, while keeping your head completely straight. And as you exhale, follow the thumbs as they start to come down. Again, until you can't see them anymore, or your hands won't go down anymore. And then inhale, start to come back up. Take this as your own pace, maybe even getting into the music if you're listening to music. Inhales come up, exhales come down. Following the gaze with your eyes. And keeping the head and neck as neutral as possible. Great job. Go ahead and pause here. Exhale, release both hands down by your sides. We're then going to take our left hand, so opposite from the one-sided leg, if you're taking it on one side at a time. And we're going to take and follow the gaze as we go around in a circle. It can be a big circle or a little circle. Go in one direction just a few times. Really working to keep the head and neck as straight as possible. You follow the circle with your gaze. The next time your fingers are at the top, pause and reverse your circle, continuing to follow it with your gaze. Great job. Exhale to release that with left hand. If you're taking single-sided hero, let's move to the left side this time. Taking that left leg back. Maybe you're on the floor, but you had your toes tucked and it's starting to feel intense. Maybe you want to shift or adjust, add a prop, untuck the toes. Now is a great time to make any changes. And then settle back into your hero's pose. All right. Inhale, both hands out to a T. Make those fists. Thumbs stay up this time. And then bring them in front of you, shoulder distance apart. All right, we're going to follow the thumbs as they move to the left. And then to the right, matching your breath. Really taking your vision to its peripherals on either side. Great job. Bring it back through center. Exhale, release your hands. Go ahead and bring the right hand up. Now opposite if you're doing the one-sided. And we're going to make that fist in front of us. And we'll take our circles on this side. Maybe find a way to change it up. Maybe it's a bigger circle. Maybe it's a smaller circle. Maybe you're going faster. Maybe you're going slower. Again, you don't know what's going to happen until you're in that moment. Reverse your circle. Explore that moment with this breath. Great job. Go ahead and pause. Release. All righty. If we're on the mat, we're going to come on to our hips and we'll all send our right leg out long. And then if you're on the mat, you're going to tuck your left foot into the inner thigh and let the knee fall out to the side. If you're in the chair, you're going to send that right leg long. And then you're going to walk that left leg out to the side just a little bit more as a counterbalance. Still getting a very similar opening in that inner hip as you would on the floor as well. Now that extended leg, you can have a bend in the knee, you can put a prop under it if you're on the floor. You could even press through the heel, pulling the toes back towards the shin, really engaging through that extended leg. And if you'd like to employ your strap here, you're always welcome to grab your strap and have it handy. Now, as we inhale, we're going to lengthen our spine. As we exhale, we're going to start to turn towards our extended leg. Start to find a hinge in a forward fold. You can keep your hands on your lap. You can hold onto your chair for more balance. You could walk your hands down your leg and support yourself there. Your hands could be on either side of the leg on the floor or a prop. Or like I previously mentioned, maybe you're using a strap, wrapping it around your toes and letting it extend your arms just a little bit. As you take this beautiful forward fold, noticing how that feels through the spine. Maybe curling chin in towards your torso if that feels good in your body. Great job. Inhale to come up to a straight spine. Twist yourself to unwind the spine. And then drop your left hand by your left hip, either to the floor, a prop, or your chair. We're going to take it into a counter stretch by taking that right hand, the same hand as the extended leg, up and over, reaching toes and fingertips in opposite direction. Your inhale, press into the hands supporting you, lifting both hands, letting them float overhead. And then with your exhale, twist towards your extended leg at the hips. Each inhale allows the spine to lengthen. Each exhale allows you to soften a little deeper into your twist. Use your next exhale to unwind the spine, coming back through straight. And then let's switch sides. Sending left leg long, and either tucking the right leg or walking it out for a little more extension. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to begin to fold over your extended leg a little, a lot. Maybe you're feeling like you're pulling your heart towards your toes, keeping the spine just a little bit straighter. That is a little safer in the lower spine. You have osteoporosis or osteopenia. And then rounding chin to chest, curling through the back if you don't. More breath. See if you can soften some part of your body just a little bit deeper. Inhale to roll it up through center. Maybe arms float up. Exhale, right hand by right hip. Exhale, counter stretch. Left fingertips as far from the left toes as you can. Inhale to let the arms float through center, spine straight. Exhale, take your twist towards the extended leg. Twisting at the hips, bringing out the spine for a few breaths. Beautiful job. Last breath here. Exhale to unwind the spine. Inhale, bringing both feet into center. And then let's go ahead and find our way up into a tabletop position of your choice. So if you're on the mat, you're on hands and knees, you're on the chair, you can come up high or you can come down low, but you're making sure your hands are roughly under your shoulders. And either your knees are under your hips or your feet are under your hips, and you have a nice bend in your knees, no matter which variation you're choosing. If you're on the mat, you could even tuck your toes here. Great job. We're going to go through just a couple of poses here, one at a time, and then we're going to add them into a gentle flow. So with your next inhale, rise up to either standing on your knees or standing tall and mountain, and then start to circle arms up and overhead. Reach them up really high. Feel that beautiful length and extension through your spine. And then keeping your feet or your knees where they are. Exhale, begin to hinge forward for a child's pose. You can rest your hands on any height of the chair, all the way down to the ground, or maybe a prop. Really feel that nice extension through the body. With our next inhale, we're going to slide those hands back under our shoulders, round through an angry cat position, And then end in a cow pose as we exhale. And then we can start that whole cycle again. This is called the candlelight flow. Inhale tall like a candle's flame being lit. Exhale, hinge into child's pose like you're extinguishing your candle. And then flow through that exaggerated cat-cow to reset. Find your breath to movement. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold and surrender. Inhale through angry cat. Exhale, cow. Start to find your own moon flow here. Take it at your own pace. Go fast or slow. As always, if you get a little out of order, that's okay. Just move the way your body wants to move. Movement to breath. Great, let's take it through one more cycle. Finish off with a child's pose, either knees kept together or maybe taking a moment to widen the knees a little bit. If you're standing, you can even bend at the knees a little deeper, feeling it in your shoulders and through the sides of your body. Beautiful job. As you exhale, go ahead and release, unwinding. Find your way up into your standing position in your own time, your own way. Come into our mountain pose. We'll stand firmly planted where we are. We'll let our hands rest by our sides for just a moment. The shoulders pulling down. We're standing up as tall as we possibly can. With your next inhale, let those arms float up. Now you can bring your hands together. You can keep them separate, or you can bring one right hand down to your hip or prop for a little more support. We're going to take it into a standing half moon pose, sliding our left foot back just about a step, maybe coming up onto the ball of the foot, or you can keep the heel down if that feels more supportive for you. And then with your next exhale, hinge towards the right. Great job. Inhale to come through center. Step that foot in, step the opposite foot back. You're taking the left hand down, let it fall by your hip or onto your prop, and then begin to lean over to the left. Beautiful job. Step it back through center. As we exhale, we're going to take our hands in prayer. We're going to slice through the air as we hinge into our forward fold, allowing our hands to rest on a prop, our legs, or the floor. As the top of our head reaches towards the floor, we hinge into a forward fold. Take just a moment here, maybe rock a little side to side. Sway the jaw, move the tongue around, any movement you'd like here. And then start to settle into some stillness, releasing hands to their previous location. Inhale, press into the hands to halfway lift, figure 7. Exhale, hinge and forward fold. Bend the knees deeply, sink the hips, and as you start to rise, let the hands fall by your side. We'll start in the mountain. We started this flowing. Great job. Let's step our right foot back for a pyramid pose. So it's gonna come just a little bit out to the side, but we're gonna keep our hips both pointing forward. We're gonna keep both legs straight here. We're gonna really focus on our core for a moment. Feel like we're pulling our thighs up towards our hips. Feel like we're pulling our belly button back towards our spine. We're reaching the top of our head up. And then maybe either you're holding a prop or you start to lift those arms along either sides of the ears. Now we're going to challenge our core here, start to really light it up. So as we exhale, we're going to start to hinge forward. Now again, if you want to hold on to your prop, it's a great option here for a little added support. But if you'd like to really light those abdominals up, find a lean just a little bit forward. You're noticing a strong sensation in the back of that front knee, add a gentle bend to it. You're doing beautiful. One more breath here. Inhale, bring it back up, straight spine. Now we're going to take that same hand as that front leg. So that left hand, we're going to bring it down to our hip. You can keep it on your hip and slide it across your back to the other hip. Or maybe you start to slide it down that back leg and then sweep your right hand over to the left side of the room. We're evolving your pyramid pose. Beautiful job. Inhale, come back to that straight spine. And we're going to give ourselves just a little bit of a balance challenge. So we're going to start to bring our weight into that front foot. We're going to lift off with the back heel. Maybe even start to bring that knee in front of us for a standing half staff. You can hold your knee or hold your thigh or use a strap or keep your hands up for a little more challenge or hold the prop of your choice. You're doing great. Now see what it might feel like to extend that leg for a standing full staff. Always welcome to rest your leg on a prop if that adds just a little bit of balance here. Beautiful job. Another great option is to maybe be using that strap around your foot. Find a spot on the floor that's not moving. You're doing great. All righty. We're going to start to let go of that standing staff. We're going to bring that foot back behind us. And as we do, we're going to step it into a warrior two. So this time the toes go all the way to the side. We're stepping it a little bit wider than before, and our hips open up wide. Start to let the arms float up to a T. Just like before, we're squeezing our thighs in, we're engaging our core, big, beautiful movements. Now we're going to do a little flow that will end in a half moon. So maybe bringing a prop or a block in front of that front foot is a great option. Alrighty, with our next inhale, let's come into a reverse warrior, taking your back hand to your hip or down the back leg as you lift the front hand up and over, stretching through the side body, but don't lose the integrity in those legs. Inhale, come through warrior two, finding a side angle, hand or elbow on knee, on a prop of your choice. And then begin to stack wrist and shoulders. Great job. Inhale, reverse your warrior, straight front leg. Exhale, bring those hands to a T. Bring that back foot in just one step. Begin to hinge the front fingertips forward. We're going to take a triangle here, dropping that front hand to the front leg or to a prop. Stacking wrists and shoulders. Now you're always welcome to stay here or for a bit more of a challenge. Begin to move your hand from where it is onto that prop you placed about a foot in front of your foot. And then start to lift off with those back toes, a little or a lot. Stacking wrists and shoulders. Might be helpful to have a prop behind your hips. You're doing great. All right, next exhale, bend through the front knee, set the back foot down, warrior one, warrior two, and straighten that front leg, reverse it one more time. Great job. Go ahead and come through your mountain pose. Inhale, arms come up, left foot back, lean to the right. Inhale through center, step it up, switch sides, lean to the left. Inhale, step it through center, hinge and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen through the spine. Hinge and fold. Inhale, roll to mountain. Side two, step left foot back. For pyramid pose. Inhale, arms up. We're going to challenge that core just a little bit, building that strength and heat so it's ready when we're doing our balance challenges. Hinge it forward. You're doing great. Holding for just another 3, another 2. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, bring that front hand down by your hip. Slide it to the other side and down the back leg. Sweep the right hand to the left. Or sweep the back hand to the opposite side. Great job. Inhale, bring it back through center. Start to bend into that front leg. We're going to lift off, find our standing staff. Standing half staff, whichever feels better for us in our body. Find that spot that's not moving on the floor. You're doing great. You want to extend the leg, maybe extend the leg. If you want to grab the foot or strap or anywhere else in there, feel free to do that. Last breath of balance. Exhale to release, stepping it back, warrior two. Great job. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, straight leg reverse. Exhale, let arms come to a T. Step the back foot in just 1. Take your triangle pose. Pull the fingers forward and then hinge from the hips. Beautiful job. Take your gaze down to the prop in front of your foot. Start to bend into that front knee. And again, you're welcome to stay right there in triangle if that's what feels like the best option for you today. But if not, maybe start to lift those back feet. Extend your arms wide. Finding your balance, keeping a bend in your standing leg. You're doing a great job here. One last breath. Exhale, start to bend through that front leg. Set it back for warrior two. Straighten that front leg and keep pinwheeling the arms for reverse warrior. Great job. Inhale, step it back into mountain pose. Exhale, start to bend the knees. Hips come down towards heels. Now you're welcome to have some props under your hands as you come up into a nice toe stand. If going too deep doesn't feel good, you can hover over your chair. Holding onto your chair, but lifting those heels for a little toe stand. And then as you're ready, Start to bring your hips all the way to the ground or all the way to your chair. Beautiful job. Alrighty, from here, we're gonna build a little reclined position. So if you're using the floor, you're gonna take a couple of blocks, one at a lower height, one at a higher height, and then bring your pillow, blanket, bolster at a bit of an angle. And sometimes it can be helpful to have that up against a surface like a wall for a little more support. You're in the chair, you're gonna make your reclined position, but also bringing maybe a pillow behind your back. But the goal here is to have the hips forward, the shoulders back, a little bit of length through the spine here. And then let's allow the soles of the feet to come together and the knees to open wide. We're going to take a restorative pose here. So in this pose, we're going to hold it for just a little bit longer, letting time and gravity open things up. Now, if this feels too intense still, you're always welcome to add props like pillows or blankets or blocks under the knees. You want to add a little more comfort. Maybe you add a weight under your belly. You would like a little more shoulder opening. Maybe you allow your hands to circle around to the back of your head, interlacing your fingers, letting your skull be supported by those hands, fingers interlace as you spread the elbows out wide. Another option is to keep the hands by the sides, palms face up. And maybe you allow your eyes to close here as you simply get back into that breath. We moved through a lot of movements. We had a lot of expectations maybe flutter through our mind as we took one movement to the next. Maybe you were able to separate from those expectations and simply allow yourself to be in that pose, in that breath, in that moment. Maybe today was a practice of coming back, practice of finding yourself in this moment and not offering it the judgment of the past moments, the expectations of what we think we know, we think will happen. Beautiful job. Go ahead and release your fingertips and let them circle down by your thighs. And then start to bring your butterfly wings together. Bend your legs out long. From here, maybe shake or wiggle, maybe jiggle any movement through the legs that they are calling. We had a leg intensive day. You could even take your hands and give yourself a little massage by beating your fists up and down the thigh muscles or the calf muscles or even the feet muscles, depending on where you're feeling what, letting it know it's time to relax. And then pausing and letting the left foot stay on the floor. Start to hug the right knee in towards the chest. And then take a few ankle rolls. And then reverse them. Point and flex the feet a few times. Great job. We're going to pause there. Instead of holding in front of the knee, we're going to hold behind the knee. And then we're going to take that knee joint into a circular motion. So we're not moving the hip, but we're moving from the knee. It can be a little circle. It can be a big circle. Depends on your knee. And then let's reverse that circle. Beautiful job. Let's pause with the knee. You can bring your hand back behind in front of the knee if you'd like. And then we're gonna take some hip circles, moving through that whole hip joint. And if being in this reclined position isn't working for your body, you're always welcome to come down flat onto the mat if that gives you a little more freedom and space. All right, let's reverse that hip circle. Great job. Bringing the sole of that foot down to the ground. Let's take that into side two. Inhale, knee comes in towards torso, and we'll take our ankle rolls. Moving basically up the joints of the leg, little by little. All right, let's reverse our ankle rolls. And then point and flex the foot a few times. Find stillness through the ankle, hold behind the leg, and start to find that knee joint movement. So we're basically trying to draw a circle or a circle-like shape on the wall in front of us as we move through that knee joint. Now I find this knee, I have much less flexibility than my other knee, and that is usually common, that one side will be a little different than the other. And that's okay. Go ahead and reverse your circles. Great job. Go ahead and hold in front of the knee again if you'd like, and then start to take those hip circles. You can also just do the hip circles without the aid of your hand. That's always a great option if it is for you. And then reverse your hip circles. Next, exhale, bring both feet to the floor. We're in a constructive rest, whether we're on the mat or we're in our reclined chair pose. Begin to send the legs long. Send the arms long. Take a full body stretch. Reach fingers and toes in opposite directions. With a great big inhale, fill your lungs. Feel your torso expanding. And with an exhale, allow the hands to release by the hips. Bring a bend back into the knees, coming back into your constructive rest. And then we're going to curl into a ball shape. So your options are to bring one or both knees in towards your torso, or if you're in the chair, it might feel better to bring your torso towards your knees. Noticing this beautiful shape as you round your chin towards your chest a little or a lot. Maybe you find a little rocking sensation, left to right or along the spine. Great job. Inhale to unfurl the spine, coming either into seated mountain or constructive rest. Our last pose for our cool down portion of our practice will be a fish pose of our choice. We've been playing with this pose a little bit lately, so you're welcome to find the pose that feels right for you. If you're in the chair, some options would be to come back so your spine is against the back of your chair. Begin to walk your hands back or hold onto your chair and squeeze your elbows towards each other to be a little more recline or more calming. Maybe just let the hands flop over as you hinge your spine over that bar. Now that can be quite intense, so you might not be feeling that this late in the practice. Maybe you take a bolster or a blanket and roll it up, putting it down the spine and letting your torso open up more along the spine versus along the shoulders. That can be a great option as well. If you're choosing on the mat, Same is true. You can bring something the width of the mat and fold back over it around your shoulder blade area. Maybe you're using blocks to support the head, or maybe not. Full back bend over a prop would be really lovely. If you want something a little deeper, maybe you could bring blocks at any height. There's tall, medium, short, and each one offers a different option. If you take this variation, you're going to bring that lower block just below the shoulder blades and the top block to let the head rest on it. And the higher the prop, whether it's tall, medium, or small, will depend on how deep of a back bend you're choosing to take. Now for this fish pose, you can stay in your constructive rest. You could send the legs long like in corpse pose, or if you want, you can even return to that butterfly. Enjoy this lovely heart opener. Maybe arms are resting in a W or a cactus or a T, or simply back behind you. Take just one or two more breaths here, letting yourself truly connect in to that natural breath once more. Wonderful time today. Now, if you're enjoying this heart opener so much that you just want to stay here for an extended period of time, you are always welcome to do that, knowing that you can come out whenever feels appropriate for you. If you would like to find a different final resting pose of your choice, maybe roll to one side off of your props, removing them, and then finding the resting pose of your choice. Maybe you come back into that beach chair and enjoy a beach chair. Maybe you take the corpse pose and send the legs out long, or find constructive rest, or stay in your chair, or move to a more comfortable chair nearby. These are all some really great options. As you start to settle in, know that you can add pillows, blankets, sweaters, or socks, starting to truly make yourself feel comfortable wherever you're at. And begin to settle in, taking whatever movements and whatever adjustments so that you can start to relax on command. Maybe you close your eyes, or maybe you simply soften your gaze. And begin by finding restfulness in your body. Let yourself settle into the stillness of the earth and the props supporting you. Feel the weight of your body begin to melt into the surfaces beneath you. Allow your hands to rest softly, your face to soften, and that natural breath start to slow. Notice the breath moving in and out. Just like throughout our practice, there's no need to change it. We're simply watching, breathing in and breathing out. As we rest here together, let us turn our attention inward. Our minds are constantly seeking to understand and to make sense of the world around us. We think we know what will bring us peace and happiness. And yet, despite our best efforts, true peace often eludes us. Our thoughts can be a labyrinth, leading us in circles, trying to think our way into a state of calm. We often believe that if we think hard enough, we can figure it all out. Every answer, every solution, even every next step. And the mind works tirelessly to shape the world into something it can understand. But notice how even now thoughts may arise, trying to grasp this moment, to explain it, to label it. Begin to shift your focus to the present moment. Once again, feeling the rise and fall of your torso from your breath. The sensations in your body and the sounds around you. Notice how in this moment there is a stillness that exists beyond thought. The stillness is always present, waiting for us to return to it. So as you breathe in, allow yourself to fully inhabit this moment. And with each exhale, releasing any need to understand or control it. Simply being here, now, in this space of awareness, letting go of the desire to know and to embrace the simplicity of being. What if we didn't need to understand? We didn't need to know. Can you allow yourself to feel what it's like to simply be here? Breathing, resting, alive. No explanations, no solving, no searching. Simply this. The mind may start to search for a solid ground, for certainty. But the present moment doesn't offer that. It offers something softer, something freer. The openness, not knowing. Notice how the air feels on your skin, the sounds around you and the rhythm of your breath. These are not things to figure out, only things to experience. Allow each breath to guide you deeper into your space. Inhale, feeling the fullness of this moment. Exhale, releasing the need to grasp or hold. There is a kind of peace and surrendering to not knowing and letting go of the mind's need to control and understand. This isn't giving up. It's softening. Can you allow yourself to feel into that space? The space where you don't need to have the answers, where nothing needs to make sense. Can you let yourself rest in this mystery, in the unfolding? Each breath is new. Each moment is new. Notice how freeing it can be to not know. but to simply feel free and love. Reflect on the idea that in reality, we do know nothing at all. This may seem unsettling at first, but within this acceptance lies a profound freedom. When we let go of the need to know, we open ourselves to the vast possibilities of the unknown. Become free to experience life as it unfolds, moment by moment. Breathe in the sense of freedom now, allowing it to fill your entire being, exhaling any tension or resistance. Allow yourself to embrace the beauty of not knowing and the limitless potential that it brings. In this state of openness, we find true peace and presence. Take this moment to savor the stillness and the freedom in this moment. As you exhale slowly, feeling a sense of peace or connection. Now begin to gently deepen your breath, knowing that as you step off your mat today, you don't need to have it figured all out. You can simply be with what is. And in that, you are free. Take the deepest breath of your day so far. Gently invite movement back into your bodies. Small movements in the fingers or toes. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes, bringing the sense of spaciousness and freedom with you, as in your own time, in your own way, you come up to an upright position facing me. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time.